Welcome to Brain Vision.
Okay, so our question says that the rubber worn from tires mostly enters the atmosphere as a particular pollution. Estimate how much rubber in kilograms is put into the air in the United States every year. To get started, a good estimate for tire tread depth is 1 centimeters when new, and rubber has a mass of about 1,200 kilograms per cubic meter. Okay, so I wrote that our depth, I wrote as d, is equal to 1 centimeters. That's one of our givens. And the other given is the density, which I wrote as rho, which is 1,200 kilograms per meter cubed. And the question is, how much mass then in kilograms of rubber is placed into the atmosphere each year? So I wrote that as m. M is what we're going to try to find. So there's a couple of other things we're going to need to figure out and actually assume in order to make this estimation. One of those things we need to know is how many tires there are in the United States. So we'll go ahead and assume that there is 1 car for every 2 people as our estimation. That would be about 1.5 times 10 to the 8 cars. Okay. But each car has 4 tires on it. So if we take 1.5 times 10 to the 8 and multiply that by 4, we should get the number of tires we have, which I'm going to denote as NT. Well, that's going to give us 6 times 10 to the 8 tires. So we just took 1.5 times 10 to the 8, multiplied it by 4 for the number of tires per car, and that gives us 6 times 10 to the 8 tires. Okay. We also need to know the surface area of the tires in question. So in order to do that, we need to assume a radius and a width. So the radius that we are going to assume is 40 centimeters or 0.4 meters. Okay. And the width we are going to assume is 10 centimeters or 0.1 meters. Okay. So then the surface area of the tire is going to be equal to 2 pi r times w, which is 0.4 meters times w, which is 0.1 meters. Okay, and this comes out to be about 0.25 square meters for the surface area. All right. So we also want to figure out the amount of tire depth lost per year. So we know the total depth is 1 centimeter, but we want to know how much is lost per year. So in order to do that, we need to know the average lifetime of a tire. And then from the average lifetime of a tire, we can assume how much of that tread thickness or tread depth it's losing each year. So the average lifetime of a tire, which I'm going to denote as tau here, is about 5 years. Okay. Well, if the lifetime of a tire is 5 years and the thickness of the tread is 1 centimeter, then to get the thickness lost per year, we would just simply take the depth, divide it by the lifetime, and that gives us 0.2 centimeters, which can be rewritten, and that's per year. Right? Okay, and that can be rewritten in terms of meters as 0.00, that looks more like a 6 than a 0, 2 meters per year. Okay, so now we have everything we need to figure out how much mass per year of rubber is being put into the atmosphere. So let's kind of draw a line here to separate off our solution from what was just written down. So this is going to be equal to the area per tire multiplied by the amount of tire depth lost per year, which, so that's going to be multiplied by D over tau. Okay. And then we also want to, so this is going to give it to us in units of kilogram or meters cubed per year, but we want kilograms per year. So, well, to get rid of the meters cubed that we have and get it in terms of kilograms, we can multiply this by our density, okay? But that's the density for each tire, but we want it for all the tires. So we need to multiply that density by the number of tires that we have. Okay, so with all these values already solved out, we can go ahead and plug all of those in, and that's going to give us an answer of approximately 4 times 10 to the 8 kilograms of rubber per year that's getting put into the atmosphere.